stream because maybe not necessarily able to see us from Flagler Beach and Beverly Beach. This is just south of Palm Coast, so you're talking about big areas. There's your look at 95. This is at Palm Coast kind of expressway, so obviously deluge, the worst of the activity south, but about to cross 95. So obviously we can't speak to those people in those cars right now, but who we can speak to, you in St. Johns County, if you were thinking of getting on, you got to get on the road, go south, give us until at least 3 p.m. to do that. All right, just don't get in the car, don't get on 95. The vehicle is the absolute worst place to be in a situation like this. So, as it gets closer and closer to the interstate, then off towards Flagler Beach, we'll need to just be in your safe place, stream with us, take your device, laptop, iPad, your phone, whatever, however you're streaming us right now, take it with you into your lowest floor, central room, no windows, find that safe, area in the middle of the home or the office, and just chill. And we're going to get through this for the next 13 minutes or so. And looking, as this moves to the east, eventually we'll race offshore, and the threat for the tornado will have ended.
I'm going to put another track on this, Lou.
Okay.
I don't really like the cone too much.
Okay.
This was also originally warned for moving east at about 10 miles per hour. Has certainly taken a little bit more of a southeasterly track.
Yes.
Within the last, I would say, 5 to 10 minutes. So I'm going to track this a little bit more to the southeast, give you guys, a little bit of a heads up who are downstream of this. So DuPont 250 timing-wise, so that's within the next couple minutes here. Seminole Woods Neighborhood Park, that's right at 3 o'clock, so up until this warning ends. Blue Below Plantation Ruins Historic State Park, so if you live out towards the state park there. And of course, the memorial site, the Campbell Rogers Memorial Site over there at Flagler Beach, 3:16 arrival time for the area of circulation. I had mentioned, Lou, that this is kind of being enhanced by the sea breeze kind of collision up into the storm, feeding into the updraft itself. Has now moved south of State Road 100, just to the east of US 1 there. So really, I would say a couple, let's just look at it. About 2 miles to the north of, is it DuPont?
Yes.
And then let's say about a mile and a half or so to the southeast of Bunnell. So right there in between DuPont and Bunnell, this is the area that we are watching for a tornado to potentially develop. But again, this is radar indicated, so we have not had confirmation yet that there is a tornado on the ground. As Lou mentioned, we're perhaps going to see reports of a land spout or something like that, or are going to be looking for some photos of that. But please act as if there is a possible tornado on the ground. Take your tornado precautions. Head inside and take shelter here if you do happen to live in Flagler County. Not only within the tornado warning itself, but really if you live even south of DuPont, down towards Corona on US 1 in Flagler County, I would also be in my safe place right now. Mm-hmm. And this is starting to have a little bit more of a southerly or southeasterly track. That's the trend now over about the last 10 to 15 minutes. So it's right on the edge of that actually warned polygon, Lou.
Yeah.
Certainly kind of riding right along that US 1.
Probably going to need to, see if they'll put that a little bit further south, even maybe including as that kind of, it's just turning a little bit, that part. And I would be interested if we even get a sliver of Volusia County starting to get within this warned area north of, say, Ormond Beach and that part of the county. But, Highway 304 and 1, where that meets right now, there's a lot of neighborhoods, a lot of residential area in this Flagler County, kind of just west of 95, but between 1 and 95, that is a massive residential area. So hopefully, if you're streaming along with us, you're getting into your safe place, and you're going to stay there for at least the next 10 minutes while this warning continues. It's very interesting dynamics a little bit further south, Ross. Folks within technically the first coast of Florida, we've been dealing with downpours, a little less dynamic shower activity. In fact, the thunder has even been limited, so a little shallower. But a little bit. I mean, just the gradient so sharp between getting the more more dynamic area. So a little bit further south, as you mentioned, the stronger storms possible.
There's a decent amount of dry air aloft here. We sometimes talk dry air can enhance storms, but when you have too much of it, it will dampen them down, right? And I think that's kind of what we're seeing here in Jacksonville and closer to the I-10 corridor. But yeah, for areas further south, not nearly as much. So, those storms are able to grow and develop a little bit more than they perhaps would further north, especially across southeast Georgia.
And, so if you know somebody who might be out at the beach right now, like south of Flagler Beach, Gamble Rogers, you get down that way, get them off the beach. This is racing towards the coast, and ultimately could be damaging winds, whether anything has touched down or not, as we wait and see this crossover I-95. Not the place you want to be driving. Certainly not right now. But yeah, what's
I was going to
it
see if I
saying
could
about
get a road. I couldn't get any roads
it's
to pop up there.
it's with that cover? What's if you interrogate it, what's it saying about shear and that couplet there? I guess is it giving you any good velocities? I don't know what
26. So about, what is that? 40, about 40
40
gate to
gate to
gate.
gate. All right. So you're talking about, if nothing else, potential for some pretty damaging winds. DuPont, Corona, safe place. Again, as we continue to track this tornado warning right here. Very tight, compact area, right? So as it moves towards the busy spot of Flagler Beach, if you are, we're mentioning this kind of moving a little bit further south of Flagler, I still want to emphasize from Beverly to Flagler Beach, let's be in your safe spot anyway. I mean, those are your kind of most populated spots of interest here across Flagler County where we're looking. Again, this is a little bit further north of where the cell is. This would be more towards the Palm Coast area, and I know we're kind of right on that edge. Like I know some folks like Marineland over to Palm Coast are able to see us on air, and hopefully you're streaming with us. And if you are in your Marineland, Palm Coast, no, you're doing okay. But as we look a bit further south, if you were to get on the road and try to drive through this, you're going to be going right through the heart of some of the worst of it right now.
Yeah, this camera right here is 95 and I believe, zoom in. Yeah. State Road 100.
Yep.
So right into the heart of
Right.
Flagler Beach.
So we'll kind of watch that part very, very carefully here over the next few minutes. So to kind of reset for you.
Yeah, the National Weather Service is just kind of reiterating what we've said here a couple times here now. Much more of a southeasterly track and movement overall with the storm itself. Now, it does look like on that last radar scan, it does not seem to be as bad, at least on the western
tight.
edge. But
Yeah. Yep. So that scan's an improvement for sure. And as it, kind of.
So certainly some strong winds feeding up into it right there along the sea breeze. But
Yep. Yeah, and maybe reason we're not seeing the extension of the warning even further south down towards Volusia County is because we're seeing maybe the relaxing of the couplet. Want to see if we get a couple more scans of that similar condition, and as we get closer and closer to the beach, and finally moving this thing offshore. But certainly active day. That's your strongest thunderstorm in the area right now. The bigger, kind of picture around the First Coast, up and down 95 through St. Johns County. We are getting showers, but at this point, everything is sub-severe. Thunderstorm out towards Palatka and moving through central Putnam County at the moment. So got our eyeballs firmly on that.
I was going to say, if you don't mind, I'm just going to pop around quick.
By all means.
With each one, there's also I suspected, just based off of the motion of the reflectivity,
Yeah.
a little bit of some rotation on that storm as well.
Yep. All right. So
State Road 20.
right there, we'll have our eyeballs on that as well.
So that's headed into the west sides of Palatka. Again, not severe warned or tornado warned right now, but just something I think we'll have to keep a watchful eye on here.
I'm going to see if we got a special weather statement out on this for 40-mile-an-hour winds.
Elsewhere, there's a couple storms up in St. Johns County, not necessarily seeing anything from either of those, at least for the time being. So those are the ones right along I-95. Could have a cell merger there very close to
For
the west
sure.
side of St. Augustine shortly. But elsewhere, yeah, everything else seems relatively shallow. Nothing looks too worrisome, at least,
Yeah.
from that point. So, yeah, I would say we're going to watch that storm in Putnam County, and then, of course, our tornado-warned storm for at least another 5 minutes here in Flagler County.
Yeah, in fact, Palatka, you know what? If you happen to be streaming along with us and you're in Putnam County, Palatka needs to just be prepared. You know, if we're talking about 40-mile-an-hour winds with this particular cell, it's tight, but it is going to essentially move right over downtown Palatka with that if that motion holds. So you're in, the next 20 minutes or so. This is going to be right over you, and then over the St. Johns River, moving south of Hastings. So let's be prepared for that kind of edge.
Starting to just get a little bit of a...
Yeah, it sure is. And that velocity scan, we'll see if, kind of a couple of scans worth. Let me see if I can put that.
I'll hop back over here and just look.
And it's drifting, like the area that would have any rotation with that cell is kind of drifting south towards Highway 20 coming out of Palatka. So that would be right between Interlochen and Palatka.
As a Hollister, Hunter.
Yep. Just, mind your P's and Q's. Think about just getting back in the house for a little while. And that's going to, it's still kind of a slow mover overall with just storm motion in general. That next scan kind of got a little iffy with that southern motion, and that one's relaxing. So
Yeah.
I imagine at 3 o'clock, National Weather Service will allow this tornado warning to expire. Again, this would be essentially the worst of it. It would be crossing 95 here, and as we speak, and moving towards Flagler. Go ahead, I'll take it, Danae. Thank you very much. Stop at 3. Yeah, we're going to stop at 3. We might have to go a little long. We're just going to watch this cell in Putnam County, but in the meantime, the warning does expire at 3.
Trying to get us a live look in Putnam County here. This is, I think, looking northward. Sorry, let me pull this up quick.
Okay, so that's from Palatka looking north?
Yes. Yep.
Okay. If you're, as I was driving in, you get out of one of these things, Bluebird Day, then right back in a heavy downpour, Bluebird Day again, so kind of that rainbow alert. But yeah, let's kind of carefully see what kind of, so roughly 25 outbound.
We'll say the storm does just not look
25.
super impressive on reflectivity, right? But there's just enough low-level rotation there, or circulation. Yeah, it's still
holding. So, we'll kind of just continue to watch. As the tornado warning expires, we'll kind of pause we'll pause our stream for a moment. We will come back, though. We're going to keep our eyes, and I think you should too. If you're in Putnam County, if you're in Palatka, between Interlochen and Palatka, but Palatka update, but kind of that whole storm motion, the potential for rotation would be drifting south as right along 20 coming out of town. So don't not the time to get in the car and Palatka and go out towards Interlochen or vice versa, because pretty good thunderstorm there with some potential blinding rain, dangerous there and that, and then with the potential rotation. So
pull this over into the center of the screen so folks can see if you are watching in Putnam County here this afternoon. We appreciate you. But yeah, Hunter, Francis, Peneo, Lundy, Satsuma, there's a look at timing-wise over about the next 30 to 40 minutes, Lou.
All right, so we've reached just about to, we're at 3 o'clock on our clock. The warning, it remains at the moment to just probably for another minute.
Our clock's just a second or two ahead, I think.
Yep, the old iPhone time is still 2:59, and that's more precise anyhow. So yeah, they have expired that warning. It just came off my phone. We'll watch. That's going to continue moving south more towards Volusia County, and then off the beach as rotation, it does seem to have relaxed, and then we'll continue to have our eyeballs on what's happening in Putnam County. Ross, unless you have anything else, let's get back to work, and we'll continue to track.
All right.
All right, guys. Thank y'all.
Stay safe.
Now for Palatka or Putnam County.
I bet that.
Good afternoon, folks. We just hopped off the stream for that tornado warned storm in Flagler County. We've been monitoring this area of rotation in this thunderstorm in central Putnam County, moving in between Interlochen and Palatka. And just as we had hopped off the stream, National Weather Service issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Putnam County, including Palatka proper, all the way down to Walaka and portions of US or of Highway 17. This runs from right now until 3:30. So this is warned for penny to pea-sized hail and wind gusts upwards of 60 miles per hour. So this is a strong thunderstorm going to potentially produce wind gusts at least upwards of 40 to 50, potentially upwards of 60. And of course, we've continued to monitor that risk for, at the very least, a possible land spout, perhaps a water spout, once it finally reaches the east sides of Palatka and a little bit closer to portions of the St. Johns River. Or even a tornado warning. Not issued right now, so again, this is just a severe thunderstorm warning, but we guys want to give you a little bit of a look ahead at where this is tracking to the southeast at about 15 miles per hour. So Putnam Memorial Hospital, 3:08 arrival time, Palatka 3:10, so more than likely reaching the east or the west sides of Palatka
within the next about 5 to 10 minutes. Lundy 3:14, 3:29 for Satsuma, and Cisco 3:48 arrival time. Again, this is warned for the next, what is it now? Almost 26, 27 minutes. So if you live in central to eastern Putnam County, in and around the Palatka area, take this storm seriously. Again, warned for pea to penny sized hail and wind gusts upwards of 60 miles per hour.
All right. Good. Everybody good? Everybody happy?
His mic is not.
Okay. Our streaming room is the place to be because I'm telling you, we're coming in and out, and we got a lot going on. We had the tornado warning for Flagler County just a moment ago, and we wrapped that up. And now kind of watching a little, a little inflow. We're thinking, this has got a pretty strong gust potential, if nothing else, up with 60-mile-an-hour gusts. But this is, I want to say Putnam County, massive county, right? So if you got this warning, you're across Putnam County. If you're towards Interlochen, you're doing better. But what I would say in Interlochen is it's not the time to get in the car. I got to go do some business in Palatka. Not the time. Okay, so let's keep it on that side of the county for now. Let's wait until this is crossed over. We'll continue to watch as it kind of drifts really up and across 20 and towards downtown Palatka, and maybe just south. But that's an impressive storm core when we're talking about the potential for damaging wind, that small hail even that you mentioned, which is interesting. And blinding rain that's going to really just that'll be as dangerous if you decided you were going to get in the car with those strong winds.
You mentioned the hail. I'm going to see if I can find our hail tracker here, see if anything is being reported. It's not large hail, pea to penny size, but that's certainly a little bit more than we're used to seeing here in Northeast Florida.
It's a heck of an updraft.
Yeah, it's showing up a little bit, okay. Quarter to half inch sized hail.
So, just for the time of year, kind of where my radar, just that I'm using on my phone is showing Ville kind of off the scale. So if nothing else, even the air column maybe not being quite as cool, but with that strong updraft, what goes up must come down ultimately, and so some downburst potential
And a little bit of tilting of the updraft, right? Just
Yeah.
helps with that some.
Yep, absolutely. And so that right there tells me the hail's certainly a story, but that tells me also good, strong, gusty winds coming out of this right outside of downtown Palatka. As kind of go back to my velocity scan here.
I think I
Got
might have
ourselves an active day, Ross.
very much so.
And at 4 o'clock, we're going to talk college football.
Hopefully, if we don't have severe
If we don't have
storms.
severe storms. But Ross brought up a great point as we were talking about this tornado warning.
The one for Putnam County, not for here.
But you're talking about for Flagler County earlier. We were on a different stream. If you're just joining us if you're in Putnam County, the strongest of the storms, I mean, at this moment, seem to be staying a little bit south of Duval at the moment. But heavy downpours. I haven't picked up any lightning really in some of these showers from Duval, even in Clay. We've got a storm merger occurring close to St. Augustine. I'm not seeing the lightning being picked up, but these storms with the lightning, i.e. Palatka, are very, very close to it. We are
And they just put out a new polygon there. Just
kind of adjusting with the motion, still going with 330. Is that still accurate? 330?
Yep, 330.
Okay.
They just kind of shrunk it down and shifted it a little bit more south and southeastward there.
So Pomona Park, right? You drive right down 17 out of Palatka, or from the other side of the St. Johns River down 17 towards Pomona Park. This will cross the river. And so Pomona Park, let's watch very carefully. Crescent City outside of the polygon, but ultimately would move towards you if this thing holds itself together. Interest on the river, so you got a buddy out fishing, okay, call them. Obviously, they can stream right there along with us, but, get them, let them know, okay? So they're probably hearing the thunder, thinking, all right, maybe this will go around us. But just let them know if they're in some of those fishing spots, leaving out of Palatka and going south on the St. Johns River. Let's get them off. Let's get them to the hill. Let's get them in the truck and get them home, or somewhere safe. As this lone little cell, looking impressive. The rotation not so much anymore, but that outbound wind, meaning the potential for maybe downburst type scenario with that hail core that we were seeing.
Yes.
That could cause some issues right down 19 as well. So that drive down to Marion County, not ideal at the moment out of Palatka.
That is quite a large storm core.
It sure is, man. That's interesting. Interesting dynamics happening just south.
And it appears much larger here than it does on reflectivity.
Yep.
Which you don't often see.
Why would that be? That's interesting.
I mean,
the core's out running the tilt, I guess.
It's showing you kind of mentioned those outbound winds.
Yep.
I think that that's really more of what we're seeing here now, like a front flank downdraft,
Sure.
kind of.
Interesting. So,
Right.
August.
This little area.
Yep. That is very interesting. So, in the lightning, kind of your precursor. Well, that's interesting. So the lightning, the precursor to where the storm is kind of leaning, and because you get that tilt, as Ross has been mentioning. So when you see the lightning strikes outside of the reflectivity, what that's telling me is your cloud tops are out and overrunning, and you're getting the lightning from the top. And that might be in an area where rain is not being picked up, but nonetheless, it is kind of something you can watch when the lightning is almost outrunning the storm. You can kind of look at that and say, well, that's where we're heading next. And as you can see, lightning kind of being picked up due south of this storm down 19, and then closer to the St. Johns River as well. Great look.
Wow.
Yeah, I like this. So 3D scan tops are, I mean.
That's a big storm.
High reflectivity, up and above 40,000 feet.
Those are high reflectivity values. I mean, yeah, above cruising altitude for a commercial airliner. You can often get, the high reflectivity values, 25, perhaps 30,000 feet. But yeah, we're talking on 40 to 45,000 feet, that storm core. Yeah, so certainly a significant wind gust risk. And I believe National Weather Service did say penny-sized hail, now very likely, if not reported. They said maybe falling.
Okay. Man, in our Palatka, it's funny, the Palatka airport where we have our sensors, those sensors got hit by lightning. It's why we haven't been getting measurements there. And so they've been trying to repair that. I would be very interested in some of their, because this storm, where the airport is located, is essentially, it's like 2 miles to the north of this. So, yeah, it's just to the north. I would be so interested in what kind of wind readings they'd be getting at the moment. But nonetheless, we don't have that. So, Highway 19, this is approaching the neighborhoods. You got downtown Palatka, but we got many residential areas that's just on the edge of where this storm is about to cross, right over Highway 19. And that's such a busy road in and out of town. Let's not do that right now. Let's stay in the house. Let's get to our safe spot. Not a tornado warning. It is a severe thunderstorm warning, but nonetheless, with the just when we say it's a big thunderstorm, it doesn't cover a ton of space. We're essentially talking about Palatka downtown, just outside of it. So maybe a couple of miles across, but man, it is tall. And it is pumping out a lot of energy. So, and you're hearing those rumbles of thunder even on the back end of this, and sometimes that's some of our strongest lightning strikes. So let's be careful. Even if that rain has ended for you, if you're still hearing the thunder, it's not time to go out. That would be out 20 towards Interlochen, still getting some pretty good lightning readings there.
And a little bit of a bounded weak echo region. You can see it there, the bottom of it.
Yeah. Yeah, so
a little bit
precursor, here over the next couple of minutes, if we get some pretty good gusty.
Reflectivity wise, has a little spike there, right near US 19 and Silver Lake Drive.
Silver Lake Drive, right? Okay,
southwest sides of Palatka.
If being as precise and specific as possible, talking about some of these communities right on that kind of that estuary and/or like that marshy area right along the St. Johns River, boat ramps all up and down there. At this point, if the boaters got to try to avoid this. This is capsizable type winds potential here as it does cross the river. So I'm thinking about now some of the heavier rain is starting to make it into downtown Palatka. We're starting to see that. This again, kind of looking north. You get out up 17 north towards Green Cove. There's a pretty strong downpour there, but that is not what we're watching right now. So if you've got this severe thunderstorm warning, you got the push alert sent to your phone and streaming along with us. So we're talking, I know you may be concerned if you're in Putnam County in those areas, getting those heavy downpours, but on the north side of Palatka, those are okay right now. All right, we're not even really indicating lightning with this. Now, 17 wouldn't be a fun drive, whether you're coming out of Green Cove south or up towards north, but just got to emphasize not trying to drive through this at the moment if you needed to get out and run some errands or think about that commute home at 3:15. And then this is going to go for another 15 minutes, this specific severe thunderstorm warning, as it does approach the St. Johns River. Very impressive reflectivity.
Yeah, very, very impressive. I'm just going to do a quick radar tour here to give you a second to look around, Lou. You mentioned the cell merger over St. Augustine. Some good news for you folks. Yes, you're going to see some rain, but both of these storms have kind of begun to wither away, at least a little bit, as they've approach each other closer to County Road 16 and US 1 right near the St. Augustine area. So some rain falling in St. Augustine proper, but the storm risk has come down at least a hair. We had a thunderstorm, or really just a very heavy downpour over downtown Jacksonville and the south sides of Jacksonville. So from San Marco over into Arlington, East Arlington, the whole way out Atlantic Boulevard over towards Atlantic and Neptune Beach. This is really just rain, not really seeing much lightning. In that similar story out to the west. So west of Baldwin from St. George to the north sides of Sanderson and McClenny, also seeing some rain, but rather shallow storms. And Lou and I have talked about it. The moisture content drops off significantly the further north you go. So if we zoom out a lot, you'll notice southeast Georgia, besides far southern Charlton County, almost nothing happening. That's not much of a surprise. Again, yes, it might be humid out there, but the overall moisture content within the atmosphere is lower. A lot more dry air in the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere. There's a pretty large swath of dry air across southeast Georgia, so that's limiting thunderstorm activity, development, and convection here this afternoon. Whereas in contrast, areas south, much stronger, and we just got a tornado warning for Putnam County.
All right, let me go out. I'm going to go get out to the TV. I'm going to stay on for the duration of that and continue to stream. I'll get folks in here. Let me get out.
Do you want me to come out with you there in a second until you get on air?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll be on in a second.
All right.
So, folks, if you are in Putnam County, we just got a tornado warning issued. Chief Meteorologist Lewis Turner is going to be heading out to our studio to go on air here relatively soon. So I'm going to stay streaming until Lou gets on air. Then at that point, we will switch over to our in-studio broadcast. But if you live in Putnam County, again, Palatka, Willaca, both included currently in this tornado warning. So severe thunderstorm warned and tornado warned. This includes Putnam and Flagler counties until 4 p.m. Pomona Park, northwest sides of Crescent City also included in this. We have mentioned really over the last several minutes now, almost the last 30 minutes, how there has been a tightening up of that storm. And you can certainly see that velocity couplet much more defined and stronger here now. So just to the southwest of downtown Palatka by about 3.5 miles is where we are watching for that potential tornado to be. I'm going to check quick here with the National Weather Service. Again, this is severe thunderstorm warned and tornado warned. It is radar indicated. They're, of course, mentioning this area of tightening up of the rotation, moving southeast at 20 miles per hour. So let me zoom out here a little bit first, and I want to give you guys a heads up downstream of where this circulation is currently at. So Buffalo Bluff, you have until 3:22 to take your tornado precautions. Satsuma, 3:30 to take your tornado precautions. So that is just about 10 minutes away from reaching you. Again, this is moving to the southeast at 20 miles per hour. I'm going to speed up my track a little bit here and retrack it for you folks just to get a bit of a better reading looking downstream. And Toby, will you let me know when Lou is on air? And then I will go out to join him out in our studio. Okay, yeah, so this is a much better look at it. So Satsuma, 321, Church of God there in Putnam County, south of East Palatka, right along Highway 17, 326. Okay. And he's now streaming here?
Afternoon.
Okay.
I want to emphasize this is for Putnam County, but we are talking about right around Palatka. So Palatka right now, this is a very strong, a very compact, but a very, very strong thunderstorm. So the Doppler is indicating rotation, the potential for a tornado. Again, Doppler indicated, no eyes on the ground for anything that's touched down just yet. Either way, all right, the storm so strong with damaging winds possible, frequent lightning, heavy downpours, even small hail with this in particular cell, again, moving right into Palatka. This warning is going to go for about 40 minutes, okay, because as this cell moves through our warned area towards the St. Johns River now, all right, all that lightning kind of coming out ahead of this storm, we are beginning to see the potential for that rotation. So I'm going to come down in just a bit. I want to show you exactly the detail with this storm, specifically where it is now and where it's heading. So it will be crossing that St. Johns River heading towards 17, but right now directly over 20, right outside of downtown Palatka. I'm going to take the lightning layers off. We know it's got frequent lightning. All right, so I'm going to take that so we can get a better view of some of the areas that at the street level that we're getting impacted right now. So downtown, all right, 19 coming out of downtown. So if you're going to go through southern Palatka, get out of town, head south. This is, I mean, we just got the live update, okay? So strongest part of the storm with the greatest wind potential, essentially right over 19 and now heading south with the potential for that rotation happening right on the leading edge of that cell. So as we look at some of the communities, all right, Silver Lake Drive, so homes in and around 19, Silver Lake Drive, all the way up into downtown Palatka. And then looking even beyond towards San Mateo Road, Highway 17, as this does cross the river, you got to get in your safe place right now. This is the time to do it right now. Lowest level of the home, most central interior room that you have, no windows. This would be near Satsuma, Palatka, and this is all moving towards the south and east at 20 miles an hour. So moving at a pretty good clip down towards Highway 17. Satsuma, I need you in your safe place right now. Buffalo Bluff, all right? This is absolutely heading your way. Very impressive looking storm. It is compact, all right? So if you look at just the size of the storm itself, about 6 miles across, running out of downtown, out 19, across 20. So Highway 20, 309 coming south, 19 out of town, going towards and across the St. Johns River towards Satsuma, and this will be even moving beyond now towards Highway 100 and over even Crescent City. So we gotta take those precautions right now. I'm gonna be joined by Ross Muma here in just a moment. I'm gonna take a look at our velocity layer so I can show you more specific. Has it broadened out? Yeah. All right, so yeah, it sure has. All right, so what we look for here, and as we've kind of explained in a previous tornado warning we had in Flagler County, we watched several different scans. Ross joining us right now. And when you see greens tight up against reds, that is a good strong indication of rotation. Now we have seen this, Ross, since we've been streaming when this first became a severe thunderstorm warning, we had seen previous scans that showed even more impressive rotation with this even earlier.
Yeah. I mean, especially within the last 10 or 15 minutes, we've seen some spikes within the overall circulation itself. And we can sometimes see that, especially as it moves closer to the water there, Lou. Yep. On the east sides of Palatka and East Palatka, that can sometimes add a little bit of some extra inflow and uplift into the storm, add some extra strength within the low and mid-level circulation within the storm. So I want to give you a live look. This is out of Georgetown. This is just to the south of Palatka, right along the eastern banks of the St. Johns River as the storm begins to move a little bit more so to the south and southeast there. But yeah, Lou, National Weather Service realizing that area beginning to broaden out a little bit, but nonetheless still take this very, very seriously, still warned until 3:30, I believe. Correct, Lou?
Yep, that's correct. And got it. Now I've seen until 4.
Okay, so they've extended.
That's the latest. Let me check the.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the very kind of latest. We'll see, and of course we got it till 4. Absolutely could be dropped. We'll see what they do with that. And as soon as they do, we'll get you back to regularly scheduled programming and we'll continue on the stream. But just interesting reflectivity there, Ross. And I'm going to, if we come back to me for one moment, I just want to do a quick kind of storm track from the core, okay? So I'm going to go from here out, all right, considering a southeast speed at 20 miles an hour where we would see the potential for kind of the most damaging winds with this, whether we're talking actual tornadic winds or we're talking straight line, because this has the potential for that as well. So we're looking out towards Satsuma here in the next 7 minutes. Okay, so Satsuma is the time. You've got 7 minutes before this core and this really strong thunderstorm is directly over you. That gives you time. Get to your safe spot. All right, get into the safest part of your room. If you've got somebody out doing yard work, out on the dock fishing, get them into the house now and get them in their safe place. Pomona Park, 348, shovel up. And I did mention Crescent City. Now, while Crescent City is outside of this warned area as far as the tornado warning is concerned and would extend beyond that 4 o'clock time frame for the tornado warning, I need you imminently aware of this storm, okay? A tight cell, Ross, as we've been talking about, but powerful punch packed with this thing.
Yeah, I mean, it had a massive storm core. We were looking at the height of the reflectivity values, right, anywhere from 40 to 45,000 feet. But I've noticed something very interesting just within the last 30 minutes of the radar scan. Now, tornado warning still issued, and they have extended it a little bit further east and southeastward, so a little bit closer to Crescent City, straight down Highway 17. But if you notice, the reflectivity in the storm kind of building a little bit more on the eastern flank of it here, right? So right where those inflow winds would be, right along that St. Johns River on the eastern banks, the storm is kind of building out over it, somewhat beginning to cut off the circulation a little bit. I would assume that's why we're starting to see a broadening out of the circulation within the lower and somewhat in the mid levels of the storm. Typically, you want it to be free air and open space out in front of the storm for it to continue to feed into it and to allow that circulation to strengthen and grow. Seems to be more of a congealing of the energy and storm within it as a whole. So the circulation, Lou, seems to be kind of cutting itself off a little bit here now.
Yep, and so mentioning that, coming back, and we'll look specifically at velocities then. So reflectivity certainly very important when it comes to the heavy downpours, but this map kind of showing you Palatka, coming out of Palatka now, all right, crossing the river. So Ross mentioned influences of the river. We'll see as this thing crosses the river and maybe gets room to run if it continues maybe gathering energy, because we know we've seen plenty of that energy out there considering what we saw in Flagler County a little bit earlier. But we're talking about State Road 100, all right, down towards Satsuma, Pomona Park, you're well within that warned area. Let's get into your safe spot, and then off and south towards Crescent City there along the St. Johns River. So yeah, relaxed a couple, and when we say that, all right, so we've got the greens and the reds, nothing overly impressive there, not very tight. You need the tight couplet, but I know storm core wise, when we're talking about strength of this, whether there is rotation or not, Ross, we've got a very, very strong thunderstorm. So let's take a live look. We do have the look from Putnam County now, from their, I believe this is their emergency operations center. So yeah, this is your Putnam EOC. And Ross, this is a north-facing camera.
I believe so, and it's just to the north of the strongest storm core. So I believe it's right along State Road 20 there in Palatka, or nearby.
Yep, so definitely we got the strong storm. And even if you're heading out of Palatka up 17 towards Clay County, we've got a really heavy, strong downpour there. Nonetheless, as we come back to reflectivity, I'm going to take us down towards where this cell is. And Ross, you just mentioned that storm core. I know you were about to show us that with that small hail potential there,
yes,
with the updraft. I mean, you could easily be getting 60-mile-an-hour downbursts with this, so damaging winds, whether we have rotation or not.
Yeah, the hail and wind gust threat is still significant even without the tornado warning. Remember, this was first severe thunderstorm warned for pea to penny-sized hail, and you can certainly tell that just from the storm core itself. The height of the storm, we take a look at a cross-section of it, as we mentioned before, upwards of 40 to 45,000 feet. Now, it has come down a little bit, closer to about 30 to 35,000, but still a very strong storm, a very tall storm as well. Typically, the higher and the larger you have in vertical development, the more damaging these storms can be. So we're still going to monitor for that potential for the 50 to 60 mile per hour wind gusts, and radar indicated was showing about P2 penny-sized hail earlier within the storm, Lou.
Ross, I will say the tornado warning has come down.
Okay.
All right, so we no longer have the tornado warned polygon on the screen, meaning we still have a severe thunderstorm warning for Palatka moving across the St. Johns River. We're going to get you now, considering the warning has come down, we're going to get you back to regularly scheduled programming. However, if you're in this area, we will continue to stream. Go to First Coast News Plus, all of our platforms digitally, and we will continue to talk about this cell, very strong storm moving through Putnam County, now across the St. Johns River. So stay with us. In the meantime, let's get you back to your programming.
weather coverage as well. I'm meteorologist Robert Spetta, First Coast News, on your side.
Warm and muggy afternoon on the First Coast here on our Thursday. There is a chance of some showers, though, first developing along the I-95 corridor and then building back towards the west. But overall, that flow is moving from west to east, so even the beaches could be still looking at some additional precip later on this afternoon heading into the evening. I don't anticipate much in the form of thunderstorms, albeit a few rumbles of thunder can take place out there. But the big headline is going to be heading into the weekend with scattered and numerous showers.
Substantially. Sometimes these can fire up a little bit more so once they move over the very warm river waters there, especially over the St. Johns River, but that does not seem to be the case. The circulation was pretty significant, I would say, for about 5 to 10 minutes, but the eastern flank of it, or the southeastern flank, kind of built out ahead and began to undercut some of the inflow into the updraft and into the storm, allowing it to not only keep its strength and vertical development, but also keep that circulation going. Again, kind of cutting it off, so still a strong thunderstorm there for southern and eastern Palatka there in eastern Putnam County, and similarly for far southwestern St. John's, Flagler County. Still be very aware there's a strong thunderstorm in the area, but at least the severe risk and the tornado risk, Lou, has now come down for the time being.
Yeah, appreciate you, Ross. I've been all over it, and as we kind of look just kind of bigger picture area, I know we've had some downpours all over our First Coast, and certainly we'll continue that through our evening. We're going to have our eyes south, really, of Duval with some of these strong storms potentially as they move over into southern St. John's and into Flagler County out of the St. Johns River. We'll watch and see if anything's gained strength. In the meantime, with nothing severe, we will be back at 4 p.m. For another stream looking at our big picture weather scenario. But we're going to let y'all get back to work, get back to your thing, and we'll see you at 4 o'clock right here on First Coast News Plus and our streaming platforms.
Stay with the First Coast's most accurate weather team. Stay safe and informed. Download the First Coast News app now. First Coast News, on your side.